Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the KnitKnackChat knitting podcast. I am your host, Zach. As always, I'm coming to you from my apartment. Today, we're in my little kitchen dining room section of my apartment in St. Paul, Minnesota. This is the 30th episode, I just checked, of my knitting podcast. Thank you all so much for subscribing, liking, commenting, sharing this with your friends. I'm still really close to 700 subscribers. So I'm just waiting for that next milestone. So feel free to do that, and that'd be really awesome. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as KnitKnackZach. The tag for that will be down in the description below, along with a list of everything that we will be talking about today, all my knits, and also a KAL detail. I am going to be starting my Socks and Stocks knit along. This is the third year. This is the third year that I'll be starting this knit along. And I had some expressed interest after the last episode of people wanting to start it again. So I have just one finished object to show off for you guys, and some whips, and I have a few Cast Ons that I'm going to show you guys as well today. And then to round out the episode, as always, we're going to be doing a poll from the Knitting Oracle for your month of May. Today I'm filming this on a very gloomy Saturday. This is May 4th. May the 4th be with you for all of those who celebrate. I have the day off work today. I've had a busy week at the Caribous, and I'm very excited to have this weekend off. Hopefully to get a lot of knitting done. I don't have any acquisitions to show you guys, but I know for sure the next podcast I'll have quite a few acquisitions. Next week is the Shepherd's Harvest, which is a little wool festival vendor market thing here in Minnesota. It is up in Stillwater, Minnesota. So I have the weekend off next week as well. So I will be going with my friend Lucy to Shepherd's Harvest, and maybe I'll film a little vlog alongside her, and I'll upload that for a little mid-month adventure for you guys. So yeah, that pretty much gets rid of most of the admin stuff besides the KAL details. So let's just jump into the KAL details right away. I'll be shuffling on this, holding and putting energy into this deck of cards throughout the episode. So don't mind the shuffling that you hear. Just know that it's manifesting good vibes and a reading for this episode. The KAL. So the Socks and Stocks KAL is pretty much, as it says, you're making socks to show off in your Birkenstocks or in your sandals or in your clear boots. I saw somebody on Instagram have a pair of clear rain boots that they were wearing these brightly colored colorwork socks with, and I was like, that's gorgeous. I love that. So I need to go and buy myself a pair of those boots because it's so cute. So basically, you're going to be either featuring some self-striping yarn that you have, or show off a colorwork sock, or a textured patterned sock, to show off just the amazingness of hand knit socks. I really do love wearing hand knit socks with my sandals. I feel like my feet are really gross, so I don't like wearing sandals without socks for the most part, so I will wear my Birkenstocks with a pair of socks usually. Yeah, it can be any kind, DK, fingering, whatever you feel comfortable doing. They don't have to be worn in Birkenstocks, but that's kind of the point of the KAL, is to do either something different for you, like a patterned sock, or something go ahead and get a skein of self-striping. There are so many not super expensive yarn brands like Patton's Croy. And I don't know I think I remember seeing that Felici is currently out of stock from Knit Picks. I don't really buy Felici sock yarn, but I know people that do, and they've been talking about how they're upset that they haven't been able to get their Felici sock yet. So look around. Michael's or Joann's might have some patent Corey self-striping. Yeah, very low stakes KAL. It is starting now, May 4th, and it is going to go through August 1st, through the start of August. So hopefully in the August episode, I will have drawn a winner or two, depending on how many people participate this year. The last couple of years, I haven't had a lot of participants, so it's been kind of low stakes prize-wise. My plan probably is going to be, I'll probably get a bag and maybe a skein of self-striping yarn to send to a lucky winner. So that I think is my goal for this KAL. So again, Socks and Stocks KAL. Posts are going to be exclusively on Instagram. Use the hashtag Socks and Stocks KAL 2024 and make sure you tag me in the post as well so that I can see it. Yeah, and make sure your account is also public so that I can see it. Otherwise, if you post it on your private account and I don't follow you back, I won't be able to see it. Yeah, and if you are posting, I probably will do a slideshow in August featuring all of the socks that were finished. And if you would rather not have it posted on the internet, I won't be putting any handles or anything on it. I will just be taking screen grabs of your post and cropping everything out of it, so that there's no identifying marks of you or your screen name or anything. So it'll just be a picture of a lot of really pretty socks. So that pretty much does it for the knit along. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram or comment below. Yeah, it's pretty much has to do. That's the KAL. It's pretty simple KAL. So next, it was going to be finished objects. I only have one finished object that I finished last month, and it was kind of a crazy push. But I finished my boucle socks that I was knitting for the Boucle Buddies knit along. Here are the full socks. I knit these out of Muse 2320. What is her bait? No. I can't even remember what the bird name is. I can't remember. It is her DK base, her DK Boucle base in the colorway Reading Tea Leaves. It created this really pretty, like, micro stripey sock. I did like 4 or 5 inches of straight leg, and then I did like 10 inches of 2x2 rib for each sock, and I have like literally the smallest amount of yarn left, which is kind of amazing. I think I maybe have like 4 or 5 grams left of yarn, and I just do a double cuff for these, and I wear them as cozy bed socks, just cozy hanging around DK socks. They're super soft. It is 100% merino. I haven't worn them too much, but I'm going to get on to wearing these a lot. But it's a fun project, and I also won a prize from the KAL, so I will hopefully be getting that soon. I got the Black Pearl Magic bag that they were giving away, so I'm very excited to try a new bag maker. I believe it's like a clear bag, so I haven't used a clear bag before, so that's gonna be exciting. These were super fun to knit. I used almost the entire skein, so each sock is about 40, probably like 45, 46 grams each, which is amazing. Super cozy. Love them. Definitely would knit a pair of socks with boucle again. I kind of do want to knit another thing with boucle, but for now I'm good. I'm good right now. A little shuffle. Okay. And now let's just jump right into whips. I'm gonna start right now with the pair of socks that you guys have seen so many times. I just haven't picked up these socks because you'll see the other 3 projects that I have on my needles are fairly big, but I have not been touching these socks. So these are my Dear Bjorn socks that I am knitting for my sister-in-law who is having a baby. The left and right socks. They are both currently caught up to the same point post heel turn, post heel flap, and I'm realizing that the repeats are different. Like the repeat starts at a different place, so like one of them is at the start of the repeat and the other one is like 2 rows into the repeat for them to like match up. I feel like I maybe also did something wrong when I finished the heel flap on my left sock when I picked that up. But oh well. I am basically going to do a repeat on one and then do the repeat on the other so they're matching in tandem, and I'm using up as much of the yarn as I can, and then I will use my mini to do a cuff. Yeah, so that's the goal for that. I don't really have a deadline for these. It'd be nice to get them done before her baby shower in June, I think. But honestly, if I get them done for her before her birthday in December, that is fine. This is hard to do 2 at a time. I can't do these 2 at a time on the same needle because at the start and end, there's a point with the cabling that I have to like go around my cable needle and work it, and so that's just a lot to deal with. I could transition maybe to try to do 9-inch circulars, especially because I have so much fabric, which I think I might try doing, but I have to go get some 9-inch circulars. I think they have some at Darn Knit. Do I go to Darn Knit today? I don't know yet. We'll see how far. I want to get some other knitting stuff done, so I don't know if I want to work on these today. I have a lot of bigger projects that I need to work on. I have one that I need to work on more so than the others, but yeah, so these are just going to stay here for now. They're both on 2 separate needles. I have a second sock that I can't show you guys. I have the sock finished. I just need to knit its pair. It's a test knit that I'm doing for Stephen West that I think is due in June. So I also technically don't have that long to do that one, but that will go pretty fast because I already have the first sock done and all my notes for it are complete. So I just need to do that. A little shuffle between projects. Next is another project that you've seen for a long while. Oh, you just saw a glimpse of it. It is my Cozy Classic Reglin by Jessie May. I have this in 2 project bags because I brought this to work yesterday, but this is its main project bag, which is cornflowers that I had gotten from Nomadic Yarns many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And here is my, that's the back. Here's my sweater. Look at that. Oh my god, the color is so pretty. Neon yellow, realness, neon realness. I have both of the sleeves done. Yay. I knit them a little bit differently than I have before. I did the decreases until I had 40 stitches, and then I knit like 2 inches straight, and then I just did a 40 stitch cuff. Before I had decreased like the full amount for my size and then did a cuff. But this time I was like, I want something a little bit bigger, so I did 40 stitches, I did a couple inches, and then I did the cuff 1 by 1 rib, did a twisted sewn bind off. Whew. Thank you. I see you, CJ. If you don't comment, that's gonna be really embarrassing for you. That is a reference to my friend CJ in their last podcast. They sneezed in the middle of their video and I timestamped and said, bless you. And then I was hanging out with my other friend Lucy and she was like, I was about to do that too. And then I saw you had commented it before me and I was like, you're welcome. So that was really funny. So here is my Cozy Classic Raglan. Right now I think I'm at like 11 inches on the body and I need to knit like 3 more inches and then I can start the ribbing. So I'm very close to this being done. I do not have that much yarn left, but I have a decent amount. I have a decent amount of my yarn left. Plus I have a whole like probably 40 grams left of this. So I'm looking probably to do a neon sock in the near future, which will be exciting. So yeah, I love this sweater pattern. It's so fun. I can't not get enough of this sweater pattern. I think I have to venture into a different classic or a different like basic sweater for my next one. I have a few on my queue list that I want to knit. Yeah, so that's that. Basic. This, I am knitting this out of Muse 2320 as usual. Mockingbird and Egret in the colorway highlighter. And it's so good. It's so good. I'm so happy with it. Back in the bag it goes. Also, am I a heathen for not having stitch stoppers on my needles? I don't for most of my projects. I have it on one project. I have a set of, oh no, I just zippered my Surrey into my bag. Oh, fuck. Okay, we're good. That was fun. Okay. I only have stitch stoppers in one of my projects. Not really for any other reason right now because I'm not at a point where I need to be on stitch stoppers, but oh well. Let me check my notes to see what was next on my list quick. Next on my list I had okay, I'm gonna have my test knit. So ooh. Next, in my Kelly E. McD bag, in my little sleeping sloths bag from Kelly E. McD, I have my Nevermore sweater that I am testing for Max the Knitter. Mind all my strings. I did some weird things with this top chart. Look at, oh, I think before I was like, I had just passed the sleeve separation, I believe. So look at the detail on those crows, those ravens. Those are so pretty. I'm knitting this out of their British DK. Which is a 75-25 BFL Masham non-superwash. My main color I'm knitting with is Laurelland's Sage Advice, which is this gray color. The purple is Gerald's Eggplant. The green is Jean-Philippe's Dirty Martini, and the black is Moira's Black Rose. So I have finished all of the body color work and everything. This is like the rest of my first skein of Sage Advice. So I am stopping right now and I'm going to go back and do the color work for the sleeves on my small circulars. I'm going to do the color work for the sleeves for one sleeve. Do the color work, stop, go to the other side, do the color work, and then I think I'll put them together and do the sleeve decreases all at the same time, so I can just get the sleeves done. But I like to finish my first ball post separation before I do that, so I don't have a third ball that's just like hanging out. I am loving this sweater. I haven't been able to do a fit test on it yet, but I think I'll do that after I get the sleeve color work done. But yeah, but as you can see, I have these on stitch stoppers, needle stoppers. But I'm loving this pattern. It's so fun, so easy. There's only like a couple rows where you do 3 color work, or 3 colors in a row for color work. Super fun. Let's look at my floats on the inside, because why not? Because everybody loves a float. I did do a couple rows kind of weirdly where I decided the end of the leaves on the top, I did not want to do 3 colors, so I just did 2 colors, and then I just like intarsiaed the tips. So I need to go in, and once I steam them, I think they'll felt enough where I can just snip. But I also did the same thing at the bottom, like, no, so you can see I have a lot of extra tails that aren't really necessary, but they're there. But my floats look really good, if I do say so myself. I am knitting the main body on a US 8, and I'm knitting the ribbing on a US 6. That's super fun. Loving it. That was weird. So yeah, loving this so far. This morning, after I got my coffee, I wound up 2 more balls of Lorelei's Sage Advice so I could start the color work. So after I finish recording, I'm gonna start the color work on my sleeve, on one of my sleeves. Yeah, that's my plan to start my knitting for today before I have to do other stuff. So I want to try to get a decent chunk of at least 1 sleeve done today. And then I'll go to a different project later today. So this is going back in the bag. There's a lot of yarn in this bag, so it doesn't really fit. So I kind of haven't really been having this in a bag, or in its bag, but there's that. Super fun project. Loving it, loving it. And next, I have a project that I started about 2 weeks ago. I had the realization that obviously Mother's Day is in 2 weeks, or is in a week. So I wanted to, my mother has been asking for a sweater. I've knit her a shawl, a cowl. I think those are the only things I've like really knit her. I've knit my dad a hat. So I'm like slowly going through my family and knitting stuff for them. Just fine, I guess. I guess they deserve something. But my mother talked about how she wants a sweater. And I have always wanted to knit the Lovenote by TinCanKnits. And so I thought, oh, this is a perfect thing to do for her, because I love her. Lovenote. And yeah. And my mother is lovely. I love my mother, but she is going through some hot flashes stuff. So I was like, oh, lace, that'll be perfect. Very airy. This gauge is so gorgeous. I am knitting this out of Barocco Remix Light Held Double. I just threw that ball band away. So I do not know what color it is off the top of my head. But I have the lace done. I did some of this lace while drunk during an improv show, and I'm surprised that it turned out so well. I think there was only a few times where I like messed up. I messed up maybe like right at the beginning. But I'm loving, I really do love, this pattern is so nice. It's not blocked or anything, so the lace hasn't really expanded. The sleeves are on hold. I'd finished my first ball, and then I started the second one. I did the neckline, obviously, already, because I just wanted to get that done. I'm probably going to knit about 7 to 9 inches, and then I'll do I think I'm going to do a split hem and do like an inch and a half of a split hem. Even though this ribbing is only five stitches, I think I might do like 10, because I think this is just a half inch. I don't have a measuring tape by me. So I'm gonna do about 9 inches. I think I'm gonna do 8 inches on the body, and then I will do the short rows that are in the pattern, and then I'll do a split hem, and then I'll do cap sleeves. I'll just do probably some short sleeves. And my mother can wear this during the summer with like a tank top. I really hope she's gonna like this. I think she will. I was like knitting on it. I was like, oh no, I don't know if my mom would want this lace right on her tits, but she'll be fine. My mother doesn't watch this, I don't think, so we'll find out. But I want to get this done before Mother's Day. Even though I probably will be able to hang out with her on Mother's Day. Me and my friend Lucy, again, Mother's Day is next week, so is Shepherd's Harvest. Shepherd's Harvest always goes the weekend of Mother's Day, so we haven't really decided what day we're gonna go, but we probably will plan Saturday, because we both have the weekends off, so we'll probably go Saturday to do some shopping and stuff, and then we'll hang out and do our D&D session after Shepherd's Harvest. So there's that. I have this in my Stephen and Penelope bucket bag that I bought a couple years ago when I did a test knit. When I did my first test knit for Stephen West, which I believe was my brioche and bubbles shawl, which is super fun. Sorry, I got an email about another test knit, and it is not about my size, so I'm all good. So yeah, so those are all of my current whips. Technically 2 pairs of socks, 1 sock I can't show you because Stephen West is very secretive about his test knits, and 3 sweaters. I love me a sweater. I do love knitting sweaters. It's that like endless process that I love. I do love knitting shawls. I need to figure out what shawl I'm going to cast on next before the KAL. So yeah, next I am just going to talk about 2 of my future cast-ons that I have yarn all ready for, and I just need to get started. One of them is a test knit. I believe I can share details about said test knit, but I'm going to anyway. I'm just going to share what I'm test knitting. I don't have any of it knit at all, but right now I just have the yarn sitting in my Fringe Supply Co bag. I am using the Knitting for Olive Merino in the colorway Bottle Green. I will be knitting this yarn I had bought from Dandelion Fibre Co, which is a fairly new yarn store in the Twin Cities area. I'll be using that to make the Partition Tank that I'm testing for James and Watts. It is a tank top version of his Partition sweater, which is a lace tank top. I knitted a swatch, and then I was like, oh, this swatch is minuscule. What the heck? And then I looked at the needles that I was using, which is not these ones. And I realized that they were a 5. I'm supposed to knit the sweater on a 7. So I'm just gonna knit the swatch on a 7, or knit the tank top on a 7, because my sweater, the gauge for the 5 was already too small. So I was like, okay, the 7 will probably be fine. So that is that. I'm probably gonna might cast it on today or tomorrow. But this test knit isn't due until like the beginning of June, so I may even start it early next week. I don't think it will go too terribly slow. It's all over lace, knit, I believe it's knit flat and then seamed, so we shall see. Next, I don't have the ball band for this. This is an 100% cotton yarn that I had bought from Darn It Anyway, I believe. I knit a dishcloth out of it. If you guys remember, I think I showed it 1 or 2 podcasts ago. So I have a dishcloth made out of this, and now I'm going to be knitting a Jock pouch out of this. So I'm going to be knitting the Bone in Ribeye by JK, who is Papa Bear Knits, Papa Bear Designs, Papa Bear Knits on Instagram. He is a Minnesota designer who designs and commission knits jock straps. He knits jock strap pouches and then sews on elastic for male models, male film stars. So he has a whole bunch of patterns on Ravelry for different pouch jockstrap pouches. I've knit 4 of his patterns. This will be the 5th one. He's a great guy. Met him in person several times. Super fun, super funny, super kind. Participates in like a silent auction for his nephew who has, believe he has some sort of birth defect or something. I'm so sorry if I'm speaking that out of turn. You can go ahead and see on his Instagram, he constantly has promotions for his nephew. Find out more details. I should have looked more before I said anything, but I already did, and I'm not editing this. I'm recording this episode on my iPad today, so I have easier access. I've had a lot of trouble the last 2 months getting stuff uploaded and just transferring from my iPhone to my iPad because I got rid of my MacBook because I just wasn't using it. I was only really using it to edit videos and then upload, and it wasn't really worth the extra hassle right now, so I got rid of my MacBook and I got a keyboard for my iPad that I use fairly often. I use my iPad more. I really like my iPad. So that is that. That is really all of the knitting stuff I have to show. Let me know if you guys want to see a little vlog with Lucy and myself for Shepherd's Harvest, and I will gladly get something put together for that. That will not be too hard. And yeah, so let's just do a final couple shuffles. I'm gonna display everything out on I'm at my kitchen table, so I'm able to display everything out. I'm putting more energy into these and letting things show up reversed if they so want to be. Before I had been really particular about how things were placed, and now I'm trying to be more free. I feel like I need to pull tarot more often than I do myself. But alas, here we go for the episode. Today is May 4th, which is 5 plus 4, which is 9. So I'm gonna draw the 9th card. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. And it's showing like this, so it's showing this way. Oh no! As I throw it on the ground, so it very much wants to be hidden. Here we go. And it is the Hank, which is number 1, and I did flip it reversed. Let me see if I can find it. Perfect. The Hank. And inverted, it is overwhelm, feel scattered, no follow through. Which really, if you think about it, it is so real when it comes to projects that you have. You feel overwhelmed by your stash. You feel overwhelmed by like that single hank that you have. You feel scattered on like, oh, I need to use every scrap. I think about these socks, when I was knitting on them, I'm like, I want to use every scrap. I feel very scattered, and like there's not going to be an end product to what's happening. I really love the art on these cards. So that is, but you also need to think of like what branches you're overwhelming, what pushes you through when you become overwhelmed. And sometimes it is that skein of yarn, that getting through the skein of yarn is relieving. So pushing through, trying to find the best option for yourself, for your knitting. Don't let things get in your way. Don't push yourself too much. Everything is going to happen no matter what. I was just watching Michael's podcast from Piece for Piece Craft, and he was talking about how in his traveler shawl he kept ripping back because he wanted to use all of his skein of hand spun for his traveler shawl, and how he thought he wasn't going to make it, but then he had so much left over, so he ripped back and kept knitting, and then ripped back and kept knitting after doing supplements with a different skein. So I felt like he maybe felt a little overwhelmed by that, or like feeling like there's no end to the process of knitting, which sometimes there shouldn't be. But you need to be collected. You need to pick up all the pieces, know everything is going to turn out right. Do everything one stitch at a time. There's no need to rush anything. This is a slow fashion process that you're putting so much energy into. So don't stress out. Don't be afraid of being overwhelmed. If something is overwhelming you, put it down. Find something else to do. Walk away from it. And you'll come back with a clear mind. So without further ado, thank you all so much for watching. It has been a pleasure as always. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share it with your knitting friends. Tell me in the comments below what you are knitting on, what you are enjoying so far in your crafting world. Yeah, feel free to follow me on Instagram, participate in the knit along, and do all those fun YouTube things. Thank you guys so much. Bye!